welcome to your January 2017 general forecast with moi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Big happy new year to everybody. It's 2017. When you add that all together, it's a number 1 year. So it's time to get some things started. So before we get started on your horoscope, I just wanted to remind you that this is very general for all of the signs that were born under a certain sign, whether by the sun, the moon, or your rising sign. And if you don't know what your rising sign or your moon sign are, then there's a link that I have below to where you can go to a website and find all of that information out. Especially if you have your birth time, then you can know what your rising sign is. But definitely check out your horoscope for all three every single month. The rising sign will be the most accurate, then the sun, then the moon. So check them out. And don't forget, if you would like a personal forecast that is just for you, boo-boo, under your birth time, your birth date, your place of birth, all that stuff, just exactly catered to you, go to my website, which is indigomoonastrology.com, and we can get a reading scheduled, all right? So now on to your general January forecast. Hey, what's up, Sagittarius? So this is my board. It's back again so I can display for you guys what your horoscope is going to look like for January 2017. Happy New Year. So first of all, honey, we're going to talk about the sun. The sun continues to be in the sign of Capricorn. And you know, wherever the sun moves, it illuminates that area of life for you to bring that part of life to your attention so much more. And it's also where you have the opportunity to shine out to the world a little bit more as well and be seen in that area. So for Sagittarius, Capricorn is your second house. The second house is money. It is your earned income. It's the money that you earn from a job. Let me adjust this a little bit better. It's the money that you earn from a job, from working. So any of my Sages that are trying to look for a new job, trying to make more money within a job, this is a good time to, ask for a promotion or try to find a new source of income, or maybe even a second job, or maybe start working on some creative projects that you can turn into a source of income. So this is also how you spend your money, how you budget your money as well. And it also rules the material world, material possessions that you have or that you want to have. So some of my Sages can be concentrated on spending a little more money, or also trying to figure out a plan to save, which, generally speaking about the energy of Sagittarius, let's just be honest here, guys. Sag energy is not the best at saving money. You guys are better at spending it to have a good time, to travel, to enjoy your life to the fullest. So you can be feeling like you want to do more of that during this time when the sun is there. The sun will be in Capricorn until the 19th. Now on the 7th, the sun will come into conjunction with Pluto. And Pluto is the planet, and yes, Pluto is a planet in astrology, okay? So Pluto is the planet that it rules power. One of the planets that rules power. It can mean deep, dark secrets. It can mean like the dark side of life in general. So when the sun comes in conjunction with Pluto in your second house of earned income, Pluto is also an energy of, just being honest, it can destroy things in order for things to be rebuilt. It's like the energy of the phoenix burning itself and then rising from the ashes. So I would be careful about your finances, Sag, this month, because there can be something that comes up that really transforms your finances in a way that kind of teaches you a lesson, to where you're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have spent all that money. Now look, my bank account is completely empty. It's overdrawn. There's all these overdraft fees. And now I have to find a way to earn more money to fill that gap, That's just one possibility. It can mean also you are going over things. Well, Pluto, it rules death, and I know that sounds scary, but money issues that are concerned around that, like wills and things like that. You can maybe start thinking about the money that you are going to leave behind for the next generation, if you have children or future children, or to your family. You can start thinking about that and working on some things that have to do with wills and passing on money and your legacy, which the energy of Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn, rules your legacy anyway. So financially, you could be thinking about your legacy around the 7th of the month. So on the 3rd, we have Venus entering Pisces. So Venus rules relationships and love and expression of love feelings. It also rules how we enjoy life as a human being, like in the physical world, the five senses. That's what Venus rules. So Pisces for you guys is your 4th house. Okay, where can she fit in here? Okay. There, she could be right there. Okay, next to her buddy Neptune. So anyway, Pisces, Venus moving into Pisces in the 4th house. Now, the 4th house is home and family. You see, it's at the bottom of the chart. It's at the root of the chart. So it does rule your roots, your family, your literal home, physical home, where you feel comfortable and secure. So with Venus being there, Venus does soften up and sweeten up any area where she travels through. So you can be feeling like a little more of a homebody at this time, Sagittarius. Usually Sag is a fiery energy that likes to be adventurous and get out there in the world and do a lot of stuff. But when Venus moves down here to your 4th house, you can feel like, you know what, I just want to have like Netflix and chill nights. With girlfriends or with a significant other, or I just really want to be around my family and have some good time, some good food. That's all I want to do right now. That's how I want to enjoy my time. Now, Venus will come into conjunction with the South Node on the 7th of January. So the South Node, if you look at the symbol for the South Node, it looks like a magnet to me. But the direction that it's pulling, its magnetic pull, is downwards. Okay, that can mean like back in time. That's what it rules, the past, karma, and things like that. So when Venus comes in contact with the South Node, it can mean past relationships, karmic relationships coming to light, or, you know, past things that have to do with your family, because this is happening in your 4th house, can come to light and come to the surface. It can be a good thing. It can be a time of healing with family. Actually, the whole month of January, I'll get into more detail on that. But this can be one of the aspects that happen that can help you to heal from some old wounds that are associated with family members, particularly female or feminine ones, okay? Excuse me, because Venus rules the feminine. It's one of the energies that rules the feminine. So healing some past karma, family relationships, and even also past relationships in general, like romantic ones too, because the 4th house does rule the past in a way as well. So that can come up around the 7th. And then on the 12th, Venus will come in a conjunction. Okay, Venus will come in a conjunction with Neptune. So Neptune is the ruling planet of Pisces. It gives Pisces its dreamy appeal. It's like foggy, not always seeing things clearly type of personality. Escapism is also what Neptune and Pisces rule. So you may want to just kind of spend time at home, like losing track of time, pretty much, like just in your own zone, in your shell, just with people that you trust, that you care about, and that you know very well. You may not be as adventurous with hanging out with others, as I stated earlier, and especially when Venus is in contact with Neptune. So this exact conjunction, happens on the 12th, but pretty much as soon as Venus steps into Pisces, she's going to be dancing with Neptune, and it just builds up to an exact point on the 12th, but it's still going to be like the first couple weeks of the month that this energy happens. I would be careful just in general with relationships, not seeing people clearly for who they really are, and maybe losing your identity in another person, okay? Because Neptune dissolves boundaries and Venus is relationships. So just be mindful of that. Now also, Venus will come in a conjunction at the end of the month, around the 26th, with Chiron. And Chiron is the asteroid that is nicknamed the Wounded Healer. Now, this is because it rules, any area of life where it's in your birth chart or where it's transiting. This is an area where you can have a constant theme of, I don't want to say pain and suffering, but just being honest, pain and suffering, or just, it's a sensitive area for you where there may be issues that always come up, and that maybe you heal it, and then the band-aid is ripped off again, and you have to heal it again. And for my Sagittarians, this is in the area of family and roots. So you guys can have had for the last several years, some painful things come up when it comes to family relationships. Now, when Venus comes in contact with Chiron, it's another opportunity for healing when it comes to those relationships. So this is around the 26th of the month. So lots of conversations that Venus is having. Actually, Neptune is around that degrees. Yeah, lots of conversations Venus is having this month. So your home and family life, your family relationships mainly are definitely going to be highlighted for you. Now, on the 4th, we have Mercury. Mercury is in retrograde and it goes back into your sign. So pretty much the whole month of December, Mercury was retrograde in Capricorn. For you guys, that's your second house of money, earned income. And when Mercury was retrograde there, I mean, just general Mercury retrograde stuff could have been going on. Like maybe you misplaced things, you messed up with communications with other people, and so on and so forth. Sorry, out of focus there. But also, in regards to your finances, I mean, with Mercury retrograde there, you guys could have had some mishaps where, like, you forgot to pay a bill, you skipped a bill, and then you get a bill in the mail that's, like, double, and you're like, oh my gosh, where did this come from? Yeah, something that you didn't think you were billed for, and you get a surprise bill. Like, stuff like that could have happened, some sort of snafu, if you will, in that area. But then Mercury goes back into Sag on the 4th until the 12th. And it's going back over things that are personal to you anywhere in your life because you are a Sagittarius. Mercury will go direct on the 8th of January. And then on the 12th, move back into Capricorn. So we'll join the sun there. So then your focus is going to be, once again, back on finances. But any like screw-ups that happened with your finances, maybe at the end of November when Mercury was last in Sag, or, the whole month of December, whatever, you have an opportunity to fix those, and go back over like what mistakes you may have made with budgeting, with spending, with financing, and just adjust them and move along with your happy little Sagittarian life, okay? Now, on the 12th as well, we have a full moon in the sign of Cancer. So a full moon is when Mama Moon and Papa Sun have a little disagreement, if you will. They are on opposite ends of the zodiac, okay, is what really happens. And that's an opposition, which is a kind of tense conversation between the two luminaries, and it comes to a breaking point to where finally a decision has to be made and something has to be changed. That's what the full moon is. So full moon in Cancer, that means the sun is in Cancer. That is your 8th house, okay? The 8th house rules money that you get other than from earned income on your own, from you working. It can mean money that you get from a partnership. That means a business partnership. That means also a partnership like a relationship. If you're married, you live with someone, you share the bills, you share finances. It's also money that you get from inheritances, money that you get from your taxes, and tax season does begin in January, so maybe some good news for my Saggies, hopefully, when it comes to your taxes. But anyway, this is an opposition between the 8th and the 2nd house. This is your earned income. That's your income that you just get like from some other source. Okay, so there can be a big breakthrough and a big change. I can see it being possible that maybe some of my Sagittarians, if you share income with another person, maybe you guys have something that you have to work out, and it's going to come to a breaking point where you have to make a decision and agree upon something or agree to disagree. Okay, so money is definitely going to be highlighted with this full moon on the 12th. Now on the 19th, we have the sun moving from Capricorn in your 2nd house to Aquarius in your 3rd house. So the 3rd house is all about communication and being very busy, running errands, having a very active mind. It's a house of the lower mind, the mind that just processes data very quickly, that you just kind of look at and read and throw away. It's not data that you really need to keep staring at and looking at and absorbing. It's kind of just like casual small talk with strangers, okay? That's also the third house. So, amongst other things, you can be a little extra chatty, a little extra more open to chatting with people that, even, like I said, they're strangers, you don't really know them, you meet them in the grocery store, you meet them at the bar, whatever. A little bit more open to conversation at this time. You can find that your phone may be going off, all these alerts popping up all the time because people all of a sudden they just want to talk to you, and they just want to talk and talk and talk, and you may just be down with that, Sagittarius. But Venus will be in your fourth house, so you may still feel like, oh, I just want to hide out from the world in my comfortable little shell and in my jammies. But yet this third house energy is calling you to get out of the house and get around your city and do some stuff that's different and fresh and new, you know. Either that, or just you'll find a bunch of errands to run, okay? Like, maybe some of my Sages, with Venus being here in your fourth house of home, maybe you're making some changes around your home. You may be decorating it. I know when Venus was in my fourth house before, I wanted to go to like Target all the time and just buy home decor and beautify my living space. That's something that I really felt like doing around that time. So maybe you guys feel like doing that. You're just going to be going to the store a lot more. That's on the mundane level. But this is also, the third house is like learning some new skills, like taking some classes that are short term to learn something new. So that's going to be an emphasis for you from the 19th on. And then on the 27th, we have a new moon in this same third house in Aquarius. That's when the moon and the sun come together in agreement with one another, and they birth something brand new for you. So this can be some of my Sagittarians starting some new classes, or pick up a new like skill to learn, or a hobby. Well, the fifth house is more hobbies, but yeah, picking up just something new to learn, something to do, something to keep you from being bored, because you will be easily bored when the sun is in the third house and like you just want to move on to the next thing and the next thing. But yeah, there will be a new moon here, which does definitely birth a new beginning, and I don't see this new moon having any crazy aspects that's going to make it bring any type of, you know, tension to your life like the full moon may do, because there's a lot of squares and, you know, an opposition going on with that. But anyway, this new moon looks pretty good for you guys. Then also we have Mars switching signs at the end of the month. So Mars has been in Pisces since the end of December. Mars has been in your fourth house of home and family. So Mars rules action and drive and initiative, and on a negative side, it rules aggression and anger and impatience. It's the god of war, so wherever it travels, you can kind of attract a little more conflict and tension in that area. But it also gives you the drive and the action to accomplish things and knock things out in that area too. So for you guys, it's been in your fourth house. Venus and Mars together in the fourth. So there could be some conflicts with family that has been happening for some of my Sages. But Venus is there. She's a diplomat. She kind of, you know, says, hey guys, can't we all just get along? You know, Rodney King up in here, to be able to make sure that the conflicts don't get out of hand and get out of control, and make sure that everybody's getting along. So Mars could have caused that, or it could just cause you to really just like want to do a lot of stuff around the house, renovating, knocking walls down, I don't know, just changing things up. Then Mars moves into Aries on the 28th, and that is your fifth house. So let me tell you, Sag, you guys are a fire sign. Mars is in Aries. Mars actually rules Aries, okay? And Aries is a fellow fire sign. So Mars being in a fellow fire sign gives you guys a little bit of a boost of energy. Like, you've been a little bit of a homebody, a little bit sensitive with this fourth house energy, but bam, now it's time for some action. Pretty much like the Red Man song, okay? It's time for some action, time to get active, especially because this is the fifth house of doing physical activities, especially doing ones for fun, like dancing and sports and what have you. So yeah, a good time to start doing some stuff like that. And with the sun in your third house of learning, you can learn some skills that are fun, you know, that you can turn into a hobby and actually be getting some exercise, working out your mind and also your body too, and having a great time. Mars in the fifth house also rules children. So if you have any children, sometimes when there's a Mars in the fifth transit, just a fair warning, just being honest, because I'm having this right now, and my little one has been acting a little rotten lately. So your kids may bring a little more conflict and be a little bit more challenging and trying to butt heads with you, because Mars energy likes to butt heads, especially being in Aries, the sign of the head, okay, the sign of the ram. So your kids may try to test you a little more. So just be mindful of that. But it's definitely, this is the fun house. It's the house of having fun, getting out there and having a lot of active fun with Mars there. So hope you guys enjoy that energy. And I hope this month turns out good for you and brings you some excitement. There's some emotional stuff going on, but hey, you still have the opportunity to have some good times.